there wasn't really too much media chatter or interest in the SNP until you get to 1967. That's a really important date in Scottish politics. That was the day of the Hamilton constituency by-election here in Scotland. And that was the election of Winifred Winnie Ewing, who is an absolute celebrity in the SNP, to the UK Parliament. And on the night of her the by-election victory, she uttered what is now a famous nationalist phrase: "Stop the world, Scotland wants to get on." And I think you'll agree that's a fantastic line. And it really it shows what the Scottish movement is about. It's not about insular. It's not about retreating from the world. It's about what can Scotland bring to the world as an independent nation. What can we contribute to the global community? In 2018, I believe it was, I was asked to take over as chairperson for the International Solidarity Committee, as you put it, for the Young Scots for Independence, which is the youth wing of the party. I took that role on for a number of years. One of the things I did in that time was actually talking to people from the California independence movement and the California National Party, of which I've got some good friends in there. And for me, at least, why I got involved and why I care about Scottish independence, it comes down to something that I think a lot of people that support independence, and I know this from talking to people who were involved in 2014 and people who've recently joined the party, it's one of the main things is about democracy. It's about getting the governments we vote for. Right now we have a Conservative majority government at a UK level that we have not voted for. Scotland has not voted for majority Conservative governments since the 1950s. This is another matter where there are dangerous implications around the very democracy of the Scottish Parliament. The competency of the Scottish Parliament is at threat here. And if you bring all of these examples together, I think people, at least people who are very tuned into Scottish politics, and particularly on the independence side of the debate, are starting to feel that gnawing fear that a lot of people like yourself and within the California independence movement, and indeed just the human rights movement in general in the United States, are starting to feel. I would say that very much that's starting to grow over here as well. In terms of the California independence movement, the one thing that can be done, well, there are two things. Obviously, you could get involved with political parties like the California National Party that support independence, but that takes a lot of time and a lot of effort, and everyone can't do that. The one thing people can do is talk about California independence, talk about independence. Talk about it with family if you can, with friends, with colleagues, co-workers. The way that we then got up to 45% in 2 years is because we talked to people. Conversations were had. It wasn't politicians like Alex Salmond and Nicola Sturgeon or Patrick Harvey from the Greens. It was not people like me, of course, I wasn't involved, but campaigners who were talking to people out on the streets, which is important, but also just talking to people that you know about independence, making it more normalized. I understand that in California, the movement is relatively young. So there needs to be that sense that it's not outside of the mainstream debate. This is part of the discussion on the future of what you would say is the California nation. We can win this, and we can win it not through fear, but through talking to people about what can our country be, what can we do differently. So I would say that's something that needs to be discussed more in the California independence movement. You need to get out, you need to speak to people, because that's how you're going to win. That's how any of us are going to win.